I wanted to ask you first, Bunny, you told me this great story, and I'd love to have the crowd understand here about how you started with ASA and how you met them first and went to Washington. Is that right?
Yeah, they had on a computer on a website that they were giving away scholarships to the Washington, D.C. convention.
Sure.
And so I filled it out. I didn't think I was going to get it, and they emailed me and said, yeah, you have a full scholarship. So I'm on the plane, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to get myself into here? I don't know these people. And there was scientists and researchers and doctors and all sorts of, I wasn't thinking I thought it was going to be a bunch of potheads sitting around a circle or something, and they were all dressed professionally, and everyone understood that we have to move forward with cannabis and get the education out that this isn't a scary thing, right, and it needs to be legalized.
Right, and so when you get into the medical realms is when you find these very professional people who are doing the research, finding the facts, wouldn't you say, and then they're bringing their power to this medical
right,
stream that we need. Yeah.
Right. Well, these people are from Israel, the Netherlands, Canada, Australia, Jamaica. I mean, they have brought their, they can do all this type of research. We're not able to because of NIDA and the
Yes.
scheduling of it, which also ASA just recently is bringing a bill into the federal government on a bill called CARES. And what that is doing is getting the marijuana down to a level 2 instead of a level 1 so that they can do research and prove that cannabis is a medicine.
That made
but
my
see,
face
they
drop,
won't. Yeah, they won't have to. I mean, they have to have funding, and the only way NIDA.
Now that's National Institute of, and NIDA is?
National Institute of Drug
Abuse, isn't it?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It doesn't make a bit of difference.
But it's a circle.
So, an idea, yes. Now, just for the heck, give me, ASA is the acronym for
Americans for Safe Access.
And this is a medical use.
You're right. It's medical information.
Mm-hmm.
It's bringing to light the studies that have been done. I have fibromyalgia and PTSD.
Yes.
And I use cannabis for that. It's gotten me off of several opiates. And I was addicted to opiates very horribly, and to the point that I had to, when I stopped, I was throwing up and I was shaking and sweating, and it was very difficult. But if I didn't have cannabis, I don't think I would have made it through.
I love your personal story because currently there is an epidemic of opioid and opiate use in the United States. Mm-hmm. Some of it perpetrated by doctors, some of it people go over, they get off the opioids from doctors and go over to heroin because it's cheaper.
Exactly.
And this is not the way for a society to go. And as you know, any community or any group that legalizes cannabis from a city, town, state, or country, the opioid use goes down by 25%.
Right,
So,
right.
So now, tell us a little more about your organization and where you've come in the last 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah. When I did go down to the D.C. convention, I brought back all sorts of information, and I was just fired up. Before this, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew what pot was, but I had no idea because I didn't smoke it.
Very good. Very good. I love that.
But anyway, I came back with all this information, and I put an ad in the paper saying that I was going to have a membership drive and to come, to Columbus, and that's where I had met all these wonderful activists, Karen and Greg Kinsley and Gary Stork and Dennis Brennan. They have just amazing work in
Right.
Madison, amazing. And Norml, the whole, I'm also a member of Norml because I just think it's so important that it doesn't just stop medical. But the compassion end of ASA, we are trying to at least get medical for people. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they're not ready for everything else, at least be compassionate enough to let it pass for medicine for the people that need it. Cancer patients, they get ill, and cannabis helps with that.
PTSD. I know it does. It's the number one medication.
Absolutely. And fibromyalgia. And I just
MS. Yeah.
MS.
Wonderful.
There's just so many reasons that this should be legal, and whole plant. None of splitting it up or. I know that some people need the CBD oil for seizures, and it works wonderfully, but it would work better if they had a higher THC level.
And had a whole plant extract, yeah.
Yes.
And people will know that better in the future. Well, it's a wonderful story, Bunny. I'd like to wrap up with letting you know that this shirt that Bunny has on is for Earth Mama Vodka, which is a new vodka that's coming out that's infused with cannabis that I'm going to make myself a martini. And over here on our end, of course, we've got the Give Me My Medicine, one of our own trademarks. Bunny, it's been so good to see you today. So glad
Nice
you're
to
here.
meet
It's so
you.
nice to have met you. You bet.
Thanks.